Hello everyone, this is the finale of What If Naruto and Hinata run away together, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Kana only noticed the time of her isolation go by slowly. There was only one way to measure a day going by, as the isolation hut had no windows or clocks. Every third meal meant a day had passed by. She used the time to think clearly and to ponder what she should do about her future. She was going to go straight. And when she completed her time here, she would be welcomed back to the family as a new person. Naruto had assured her of this. The door opened quietly and Kin walked her in with her meal. She left just as quickly. Kin didn't like to treat her like that. But it was part of Kana's sentenced punishment. And because she had only heard her voice during her time here, Kana had no idea what the situation was with Horyu. It doesn't make sense to worry. It'll only make things worse. Kana sat down and sat with her legs crossed, assuming the meditation position. She cleared her mind of every worldly matter, focusing only on her mental and spiritual state. Kana found it very relaxing to do this. Truth be told, a part of her resented the punishment her brother had sentenced her to. But another part, one that spoke with wisdom and overpowered the resentment, told her this was for her own good. This was what she had needed for such a long time. And she was finally getting it. Naruto woke up very optimistic one morning. He looked at the calendar on his bedroom wall. This was to be the day when his sister Kana was to be released from her isolation sentence. She had accepted it calmly. He hoped it done her some good to just think, away from the matters of the world. Shinobu had already prepared a permanent room for her. She had decorated it, hoping Kana would be happy with it. But she wasn't going to be upset if she wanted it differently. The two girls hardly knew each other, and thus it could not be expected of them to know how the other preferred to live. As for Naruto, he got dressed for the day and did his best to stay calm until afternoon, when she would be released. The afternoon would be the time for a relaxing bath and time with the family, to get to know the new Kana, the old one hopefully being gone forever from her time in isolation. Hinata stopped by with her father, with some plans for the wedding. The wedding was only a short time away. The couple had taken advantage of the peace and quiet to properly plan their wedding. It had put on a date where Kana would be able to attend, fully rested and recovered. Tsunade, respecting their wishes, had only assigned them missions when absolutely necessary. And the next thing Naruto knew, it was time for Kana to be released. Naruto was the only one going to release her and escort her back to the house. Everyone else would be waiting here to welcome her back. He grabbed the key from Saya, who knew how anxious he was to get his sister back. I'll have a bath ready for her, along with clothes. By the time she gets out, lunch will be ready. Saya said to her master. You're just amazing, Saya. This house wouldn't be home without you. Saya only smiled at Naruto's compliment and shooed him outside. He took it slowly, wanting to welcome her back in a good and happy way. The isolation hut was on the very edges of the property his family had. It made him happy to think of how big it was now, considering he had started out with none. He reached the hut and unlocked the door. Kana, having just stopped meditating, looked up expectantly to see one of the Bear clan with a meal. Instead she saw her brother, his arms at his side, grinning like an idiot while standing in the doorway. Your time is up. Are you ready to come out and rejoin the family? Kana got up and went to her brother's side. She shielded her eyes against the bright sun that she hadn't seen in a month. I am. You were wise to send me here. It was I needed the most. Kana left the hut and Naruto shut the door behind them. Kana now felt a little out of place, having spent a month there. We're ready to welcome you back. Shinobu prepared a room for you. She hopes you like it, though she won't be offended if you want to change something. We want you to be happy and comfortable here. Also, Saya has a bath and fresh clothes ready for you. By the time you're done bathing, lunch will be ready to serve. And you are the guest of honor. They reached the house as he said this. But before she could answer or he could open the door, Kushina opened it first, taking over the care of Kana. You take too long. Come on, Kana. Almost everything is ready. We're only missing you. Kushina smiled. Kushina shooed everyone to give her Kana room to breathe. Thanks, Mom. Everyone stopped what they were doing when Kana called Kushina Uzumaki, Mom. This made Kushina smile even wider and a single tear fell. She bent down and hugged Kana. My daughter, whom I'm proud to have, you're welcome. Kana relaxed in the bath while the smell of Saya's cooking wafted up the stairs. She had very little of Saya's cooking before she had left. Something was still bothering her though. She knew her family had forgiven her. But would Hinata, Naruto's fiancé, who she had tried to forgive her after everything that had happened? She didn't know. She hoped Hinata would forgive her, but would understand completely if Hinata did not. But that was one worry she had concerned herself with too much. As she walked down the stairs to join her family for lunch, she saw Hinata Hyuga leaning on the kitchen counter talking to Saya excitedly. Saya cleared her tea and pointed at Kana as she came down in her fresh clothes, her hair still damp from the bath. Hinata turned around quickly. But it was not an angry expression on her face. Nor was she storming up and throwing accusations and insults in her face. Instead she openly smiling, with no hint of malice or rage in her eyes. She was happy to see Kana. Kana, you're back. We arranged the wedding so you can go and be fully rested and recovered. And no need to worry about my family. They've accepted Naruto's judgment on your case. Kana didn't know what to say. Shinobu popped out of somewhere and her sister on her back. Come on. No time to be speechless. You have a lot, and I mean a lot of family to greet and get to know. Lunch is also almost ready as well. You ready? Naruto, stop fidgeting would you? Hiyashi asked. This afternoon Naruto would be getting married to the love of his life. And while he was also nervous, he was very excited. And since usually the father would help his son prepare for his wedding, and Naruto's dad was Hiyashi was helping him prepare. Naruto was wearing his father's old robes, the one Minato Namikaze had worn while he held the position of Hokage. Underneath he wore all black clothing. Hiyashi made the final adjustments on Naruto's clothing and looked up on the wall of the tent at the clock. It's almost time. I'll tell Neji to make the announcement that we're ready. Neji, who had waited outside, left the tent, checked to make sure the women were ready, and announced to everyone outside waiting that they were about to begin. Naruto's groomsman gave him the thumbs up as Naruto left the tent to go to the altar. Everyone was excited outside. The middle of the area was filled entirely with chairs, a wide pathway in between the rows. 2 tents were all the way at the back and off to the side, one for the women to prepare and one for the men. Naruto heard giggles as he left the tent, along with someone fanning someone. They had gotten Tsunade to do the ceremony, her being the village leader and the one to give the final assent for shinobis to marry. Tsunade smiled at Naruto as he reached her, decked out in a stunning forest green and white gown. Hiyashi gave the signal for the music to start and the bridal party, one at a time from each tent, left their tent and met the person they were to walk with. Hinata had chosen her sister as maid of honor. And Naruto, he had asked Gaara, Kazekage of the Sand, to be his best man. Gaara had said yes to the offer and arrived early, staying with Naruto, to prepare for the wedding. Gaara took Hanabi's arm and escorted her down the aisle. When they reached the end, they separated and went to the different sides. Kiba and Kana followed them. And Sai and Shinobu followed after Kiba and Tenten. When everyone else had walked down the aisle, the music changed and Hinata finally walked down the aisle. She wore a white kimono and had lilies stuck into her long hair that had been put up elegantly. The necklace Naruto had given her was visible. And Kushina and Shinobu had helped Hinata prepare, as her mother was now deceased as well. But it was Hiyashi who escorted her down the aisle. She was bravely smiling, not as of yet near tears. She joined Naruto at the altar and both turned as one to face the Hokage, currently the priest. We are gathered here today to join a couple that are clearly meant to be together. May I ask who is giving the bride away? Tsunade asked. That would be me, her father. Hiyashi said proudly as he stood up and sat back down. The couple at the altar gave each other encouraging looks. Then we'll begin. Married life can be hard, especially for 2 young shinobi such as yourselves. You both have helped shape who the other is now, and will continue to do in the future. I can only wish you 2 happiness in the journey you are about to embark on together. Naruto and Hinata looked at each other and smiled. Tsunade cleared her tea loudly and got their attention. Hinata Hyuga, will you take this young man as your wedded husband, in sickness and in health, in your youth and in your elderly years? Tsunade asked the young bride. I will, Hinata said clearly and loudly for everyone to hear. Her eyes were beginning to spill over now. And do you, Naruto Minato Kamikaze, take this young woman as your wedded wife, in sickness and in health, in your youth and your elderly years? Naruto's voice shook as he answered. I do. Hanabi and Gaara handed Tsunade the rings and she handed Naruto's to Hinata's and vice versa. Naruto put Hinata's ring on her ring finger. Hinata put Naruto's on his. I now pronounce you two man and wife. You may kei your bride, Mr. Namikaze. Naruto and Hinata kei deeply and long. As they finished, Tsunade held up her hands over the couple. I now present to you Mr. and Mrs. Namikaze. Everyone cheered as Tsunade stepped down from the altar and hugged the newlyweds. I've known you two since you were genin. And now here you two are, getting married on me. I must be getting old. She laughed and made room for everyone else wanting to congratulate the newlyweds. They were followed as they went to the table where the cake had been set in a large shaded pavilion. They seized a small piece and each took a bite. Someone had been going crazy with a camera the whole time. One way they were not doing the wedding traditionally was they were the ones to serve the cake to the guests. The chairs were being cleared away to make room for the dancing that was soon to start as everyone received their piece, and as soon the chairs were cleared and some put around the tables that had been set up beforehand. Naruto led his new bride out to the cleared area, and as soon as the music started, they had their first dance. We had a bigger turnout than expected, Naruto said as he twirled Hinata around. Well, it's two big clans that are celebrating a marriage. This also serves as a tool in politics, as I'm sure you know. The fact that the Kazekage was your best man also makes it big. Hinata answered cheerfully. We have a long life ahead of us. For now, let's just enjoy the time we have now, and ponder what we do with the time we have together in the future. Mom says she expects grandkids any day now. Hinata laughed. No surprise there. My dad says we have to wait though. He'll go nuts if we aren't married for at least a few months when the first kid comes around. What do you think will happen with them? They have two possible bloodline limits they can get. Everything has changed. Naruto grinned excitedly. The song ended and Naruto ended it by dipping his wife and kei her. Oohs and ahs were heard. So, what should we do now, Mrs. Namikaze? He asked Hinata this lightly, enjoying hearing her laugh so happily. The two looked as one at the table where people had brought presents for the new couple. How about we open a few presents? There's quite a few. Naruto instead pointed at some of the people at the wedding that had come together. Lee and Sakura had come together. He probably hadn't been her first choice. He remembered clearly when he had been obsessed with Sakura, much as she was Sasuke still now. Kurenai and Asuma had come as a couple as well. Let's go socialize. We have quite a bit of day left to us. They walked over to where most of their generation of shinobi sat as a group. They made room at the crowded table for the newlyweds. Naruto, we are so happy for you. Sakura exclaimed. She took some drinks and snacks from a passing waiter and handed them to Naruto and Hinata. So where are you two going for your honeymoon? Must be someplace special. Naruto smiled. We'll be making a tour of the shinobi villages actually. Hinata has never really had missions outside of the 5 main shinobi villages. And I've been to only a few other villages myself. The main stop will be in Suna. We'll be staying as Gaara's guest. Hinata especially wants to see the waterfall village. She has water-natured chakra, so it makes sense she's so attracted to a water village. We want to broaden our horizons. Someday, Naruto will need the experience. Everyone remembered he had been named as the next Hokage. Hinata was smiling broadly. Hiyashi came to their table. I would like to dance with my daughter. Your mother would like to dance with you, Naruto. Hiyashi dragged them off. Their friends laughed and they decided to pair off to dance as well. Kushina only took one dance. Kana was having a good time, something Naruto was glad to see. He was afraid she would feel guilty. Relax, brother, she said as she passed him dancing with Tenten, who had wanted a dance. The old me is gone. I've been reborn and I feel no guilt over what my old self did. The next thing everyone knew the sun was about to set. Everyone stopped and watched it set. Everyone went home, leaving the Hyuga family and the Namikaze family alone. Hinata was simply in a new world, one she was sharing. They put their presents in a cart, which Shinobu and Kushina took home. When they reached the Namika's house, Naruto swept his new bride off her feet and carried her into the house. Welcome home, Hinata-sama. Naruto realized something. Oh yeah, sire, you can call her Hinata-sama now. Hinata blushed as she was carried up to their room, which had been redecorated since she was soon going to move in and now had. I can't wait. In 2 days, we leave on our honeymoon. We'll come back and we start our new life as last. Naruto smiled and helped her remove her complex kimono. She changed into comfortable PJs and took off his robe for him. Should we relax now? Oh yeah, we should relax. Naruto nuzzled her in and turned off the light. Hinata sat surrounded by her 2 kids in their living room. Tsukiko, their eldest daughter, looked exactly like her father. Except that she the eyes of a Hyuga. Tsukiko, now 10 years old, had been born when Naruto had just become Hokage. Kazu, who was 7, looked exactly like his mother, except that he had normal eyes. Tsukiko and Kazu suddenly took off. Hinata looked at the clock. It was 5:30 in the evening. No wonder they suddenly left. This was the time their father usually got home and they would always somehow know the moment Naruto walked through the door. She got up and was met in the living room by her husband. Tsukiko was hanging off Naruto's waist, grinning all the while. Hey, Daddy, can we go do some training now? I really improved at target practice. Please see. Naruto pried her off his waist. Give me a moment. Let me relax and eat some dinner. Then maybe I'll do some training with you. He bent down and picked up Kazu, who was pulling on his flamed robes. What is it, son? Kazu had more of his mother's personality. Tsukiko was like a chibi female version of Naruto. I'm glad you're home, Daddy. Can we also do some training tonight? I want to be like my daddy, the strongest shinobi in Konoha. Naruto feigned a sigh. I guess we'll just have to do a family training session tonight. Just remember, Kazu, power isn't everything. You also need some smarts in order to be a good ninja. Same goes to you, Tsukiko. Kazu nodded strongly. Naruto reflected on his family, wishing that both his parents could be here to enjoy the grandkids. But Kushina had of natural causes 4 years ago. Shinobu had married now as well, to Sai. Shinobu had been the one to catch the bouquet at their wedding. And 3 years later, Sai had proposed to her. Kana was currently dating a man named Suzuki, who was a nephew of the man who formerly owned Ichiraku Ramen. Now Suzuki owned it, the old owner having of old age around the same time as Kushina. His daughter helped run it. Tsunade now was retired, living a comfortable life, full of gambling and sake. Shizune still stayed with her. He had hired a secretary himself, a lively young shinobi by the name Suzuka. As for Konoha itself, it was doing very well. It was enjoying a time of peace, though Naruto knew disaster could strike at any moment. Naruto was always on guard to prevent that from happening. He didn't want something like when the third had been K to ever happen again. He was planning on appointing a clear successor soon. One headache he did not have to deal with the elders. He didn't like to say it, but he was glad they were gone. They had been old when Tsunade had held the position of Hokage. By the time he had become Hokage, they had a retired Jiraiya and Captain Yamato had taken the place. Yamato was the voice of reason though, no doubt about it. Naruto-sama, Hinata-sama, dinner is ready. Young masters, I made your favorite tonight. The kids ran into the kitchen joyfully and sat down, waiting almost impatiently for Sire to say everyone was free to eat. You're amazing, Sire. Where would this family be without you? And where's Kana? Sire brought the children some food. Kana-sama is eating dinner with Suzuki tonight. He's getting ready to propose at any time now, I think. Oh, and Kazuo has been getting depressed again. The lack of a bloodline limit again. Naruto walked over to his son. This had been getting him down lately. Tsukiko didn't mean to be high and mighty about her learning her mother's bloodline limit. It was just that every time Kazu saw her eyes, Kazu was reminded of the fact that he had normal eyes. Kazu, don't be depressed about your lack of a bloodline limit. When you get older, I've decided to pass on mine to you. But first you need to get a little stronger and you'll need a lot of chakra. We'll make a deal. When you become a Chunin, I'll teach you my Shuniji. Deal. He stuck out his hand. Kazu shook Naruto's much bigger hand. I'm not sure if I'll teach it to you, Tsukiko. You will most likely already get your mother's. I would like to keep it fair. Daddy, I won't feel jealous if you teach big sister as well. She's your daughter as well. Naruto ruffled Kazu's dark hair fondly. He also ruffled up Tsukiko's hair, screwing up the perfect ponytail Saya had helped her put up. Daddy, Saya helped me do my hair so nice this morning. And you ruined it, Tsukiko exclaimed, knowing that her father knew she was only playing around for the most part. He stuck out his tongue childishly at his oldest daughter. She scowled. One way that she was like her mother was the fact she was way more serious than Naruto had been at her age. All right, everyone, sit down. She put the dinner on the table and let the adults serve themselves. Including you, young master. She said the last part to Naruto. Everything will be all right now. Naruto thought contentedly. These kids have a bright future ahead of them. They'll be taken care of, even if something should happen to me. The end. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.